Good morning! Welcome back to Cherryblossom Springs. So in the last episodes we've seen the meet and greet where all of the Sims have met each other, and we made a start with the storyline in the first rotations, but there are still a few Sims that I have not introduced to you yet. So that is what we're going to do in this episode, and we're going to start it off with these two, mother and daughter Valentina Nightingale and Lizzie Nightingale. Now, if you recognize the name, you know what I've used as inspiration, or actually what inspired me to build a town like this, because lately I've been really enjoying series where there's this small town community feel where everybody knows everybody, and there's this really sense of community and events and stuff like that. So this is one of those series and I've really enjoyed watching it, and it inspired me to make these two Sims. But they are not made by me, they are randomly generated using the method I talked about in one of the previous episodes, where you randomly roll every facial feature, and that way you really create a unique Sim. And also I've used random.org to give them random traits and hobbies and stuff like that. So let's get into the character details. Now the first thing I have to tell you about these Sims, about this household, is that they have been through some trauma. They have recently lost Valentina's husband and Lizzie's father in a fire. He was a local fireman right here in Cherryblossom Springs, and even though the entire community considers him a hero, it didn't end well for him. He ran into a fire, he rescued a lot of people that were in the house and even some pets, but unfortunately he did not survive himself. He died in that rescue action, and it was his last one. So of course they are devastated by that loss, and they've had a hard time, but they have both decided that they are not going to let this loss be the end of their lives. Valentina has always been a strong and independent woman, and she met Mike while she was a teenager. They were teenage sweethearts, and they've been together since high school. She had Lizzie when she was only 21. She is 36 years old now, and Lizzie is just turned 15. So she still has her life ahead of her, and she does want to find a new love and maybe have more children in the future. But for now they have to find a way to earn a living, and they have to do that with the skills that they have. And Valentina has always been very creative, so she decides to try and make that into a living. She wants to start a shop, a decoration shop, and in order to do that she's going to practice and make a lot of textile items. And of course she's going to sell them online first and see how that works, and how that if people like what she makes. And Lizzie decided to take up flower arranging, and together that is how they are going to make their first money. And with that money they are going to set up a shop in town. So they had enough money to buy this house, but they need around 30,000 simoleons to invest in a shop in town. And once they've made that amount, of course I will buy the shop for them, but if they will not make enough money in time, they will take out a loan, so they will have to pay interest and stuff like that. So that's the finance side of things, and you can already see some neighbors walking by. They have met a few of the other community members when they were at the meet and greet. Valentina talked to a few people, but not too many. She mainly had longer conversations with Melissa and Jessica, the Stefanov sisters. Melissa is the local elementary school teacher, not by choice, but for now. And Jessica runs the local gambling den. So I'm not sure if those are the two people that she is really going to be friends with, but that's the first people that she talked to when she was at the meet and greet. And Lizzie is actually a funny story. I made 24 adult Sims and then decided that it would be kind of boring to only have adult Sims in this town. So I gave 2 of them a teenage child. One of them is of course Lizzie, and Jason Hobson is the local he's going to run the local newspaper, and he has a teenage son, but Lizzie hasn't met him yet because she hasn't been to school yet. So yeah, there is no actual love interest for either of them at this moment, but maybe that'll come in the future. Why did she stop working? Please go back to making potholders. Is she that lazy? Wait. No, she's not really lazy. I don't know what went wrong. So yeah, this is how they are going to spend their first days, of course. So let's take a look at their characters for a little bit. Now, Valentina is a Cancer, which makes her a family sim with the lifetime wish to graduate 3 children from college. Of course, she had all these future plans with her deceased husband, Mike, to have more children, and they had plans for their future together. Of course, that didn't go the way they all dreamed about. But who knows, maybe there is someone else in her future. She is pretty balanced, but a lot more serious than playful. And her hobby is, it doesn't show in here yet, but she rolled for her hobby to be games and sub-hobby video games. She will be a little bit too busy working to play games for now. Right, her skills. I gave her a little bit of skills just because she is 36 and I didn't want her to start with absolutely nothing. She has a few basic skills, but nothing too fancy. Creativity skill, of course, halfway. And I want her to run this like really cute decoration shop where Sims can buy pretty much anything that she has made. But for example, there's like a quilt. When she gets a few more badges, she can make a quilt, and the Sims could buy that from her in her shop. And when they do, they return home with the quilt, of course, in their inventory, just as Lizzie apparently went to the bakery a few times already. And when they return home with the quilt, I'm gonna see that as a sign that they want to decorate their homes with some textile stuff. So it can be like a new couch or curtains or new bedding, stuff like that. And she is going to be, she doesn't know that yet, but it's going to turn out that her creative efforts are going to be well appreciated in the community, and people are going to want her to decorate their homes. So what I did in this town, I used the Honeywell houses. Most of you will already know them by now, and I really didn't put any furniture in there, just a few adjustments, but mainly I used them the way they came. And the way this town is going to work, this town is going to be like a work in progress for a very, very long time. And Valentina is going to play a big part in that, because the other Sims are going to hire her to do their interior decorations. So that is how we are going to build up these houses and make them like more characteristic for every household. But for now, most of the Sims will still move in with each other, move houses. So I'm not going to start doing that until we know that there's going to be like a family household for a little bit longer time. They don't have to be married, they can live together. So back to Lizzie. We're going to have to do something about their bonus attributes, I think, their bonus perks and stuff. So let's go and do that for both of them. Yes, let's do this. Now Lizzie, she is a Capricorn, which makes her a fortune sim with the aspiration to become a city planner. Now, I think she is going to be the town architect in the future, but who knows, things may change. She is very creative and has been from a very young age, and both her mother and father always supported that, and they paid for some art classes and stuff like that. So she's really creative, and she's definitely going to do something with that in the future. We just don't know what yet. She has a C in class, but that's only because she hasn't been to school yet. We are going to have integrated high schools, but since there are only 2 teenagers in town right now, we're not going to play that right away. Maybe from the 2nd or the 3rd round we're going to do that. So her hobby is film and literature, and sub-hobby blogging about film and literature. Yeah, that's basically it, I guess. Let's make Valentina make some dinner, so they can have dinner together and have a little talk. I guess after the death of Lizzie's father and Valentina's husband, they haven't really talked that much, because they are both like really caught up in their own grief. So maybe a nice family dinner, make sure that they talk a little bit together again. So yeah, the house, a little bit of the house tour. I made some additions to the kitchen to make it a little bit more cozy and stylish, because I think that would really fit Valentina's style. Her favorite color, Valentina's favorite color, is turquoise, and it's hard to find that in the decorations menu, but I tried my best. And then Lizzie's favorite color is yellow, but she doesn't really have her own bedroom yet. This can be one of the first projects for Valentina. And of course it's an integrated neighborhood, so when Valentina does do interior decorations projects for the rest of the town, she is going to get paid for it. So maybe I didn't mention that before, but that is how we're going to do that. Now for the rest of the house, they have like this open area entrance with a couch, it's a small sitting area, and then the hallway with the stairs leading up. And right here we have Valentina's bedroom, still very basic, very minimal. The basic bathroom with the cheap stuff in there, and then of course her hobby room where she will make her first start with her own business. And then upstairs we mainly have empty rooms, and we still have to decorate Lizzie's room and choose one of these rooms to turn into her bedroom. Maybe I will just take out these walls and do something entirely different with it, but we still have to figure that out. For now, they're just going to... Lizzie's not eating. You should eat something. Yeah, but for now, we are going to play the first 2 days of these new Sims in town. And then we will see them after we start the rest of the rotations, and they will turn up in one of the next few episodes. So for now, let's leave them to it. They will spend the Tuesday doing the same thing as the Monday. So the last thing I want to do is sell everything that they have made today and see if they made a profit. So I think they had about 14,000 simoleons when we started the day. And with these things that they have made, they're back to 14 and a little bit. So once they get a few badges, they will get better at it and they will earn a little bit more money. And I'm probably going to use the time clock on this lot too, because I really want this to be like a home business of sorts. So yeah, that is the Nightingale family for now. Let's move on to the next one. Now the second sim that I want to introduce to you is Eduardo Fortuna. He is the local banker. And he is not a fortune sim, but he does have the secondary aspiration of fortune, because he is going to make his money by giving financial advice through the computer. And of course I have a custom job for him. Currently he is a mortgage advisor, and he probably will be for a very long time, because he is the sim that made sure that every other sim where I said they didn't have enough money to buy the houses, he gave them their mortgage or their loans. So he is going to also earn money, because he gets a percentage of that interest that goes to the bank. So that is how I want to set that up. In the future I am going to build a bank, but for now he is going to have his office at the town hall and also assist the mayor with her financial troubles at the town hall, because of course she doesn't have any experience and she needs a treasurer for the town. So he will have that as a job as well. Let's take a little look at his house. He can do some work in the meantime. Of course his hobby is playing the guitar, if you hadn't guessed that. So his hobby is music and dance, and sub-hobby the guitar. That's better. And I've also added the road pieces, because I recently downloaded the custom roads from Viverview, and I forgot to put in the road pieces. So if you're curious about that, I will link it in the description, but it really gives a very nice look to the neighborhood roads. So yeah, a short tour of the house. His favorite color is red, by the way, but I decorated his house a little bit more on the pink side. Of course he will have to hire the interior decorator Valentina, who we just met, to do his house once he's earned a little bit more money. But I want to make sure that he stays in this house first, because who knows who he's going to meet and maybe get in a relationship with. So he might just end up moving first. So yeah, this is his living room. Currently he only has a couch in there, and he does have a little bit of a slightly more luxurious bathroom, because I used a better bath set. I really love these pieces, and I want to set up a better bath shop in the town square later on. I'm not sure which sim is going to run that yet, so that's why we do not have that. And of course his kitchen, where the mayor left a glass of champagne to make up for the fact that she forgot to invite him to the meet and greet. So I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't, and while editing I noticed that I had forgotten to invite Eduardo. So something went wrong and he didn't meet the rest of the Sims, and of course he wants to make up for that by giving a party. So he did meet a few of the Sims while walking around town. He might give them a call later on. I think on Wednesday he's going to hold a party of his own to meet everyone. So his hobby is music and dance, and I don't think we handled his personality yet. He is an Aquarius, so his main goal in life is to make friends with as many people as possible, and his lifetime wish is therefore have 20 simultaneous best friends. So he's not really a money-driven banker, he is more a popularity and people-driven banker, so that's kind of interesting for his character. His attractions, he is attracted to redheads and people with a high cleaning skill, and turned off by vampirism. He is currently 36 years old and he rolled to be straight. So that is basically all that we know about Eduardo for now. He is of course also made with the random generation of traits, and I really like how his face turned out. I think he has a unique look, and I can't wait to see how his story is going to continue. But for now, we were just going to do his introductions, let him earn a little bit of money, and then move on to the third sim that I want to introduce to you. So let's go and do that right now. Now the next household that I want to introduce to you is the Amadi household, with currently one occupant, Ramon Amadi. He is a family sim and he is truly here to leave a legacy. Now, I have a lot of plans for this sim in this town, and I'm really curious to see how everything is going to turn out. His favorite color is white, and I'm hoping that he will stay in this house for a very long time. So I decorated a little bit in his style, but of course we are going to expand and he's going to get a more luxurious bathroom and all those things. But for now he has the basic white furniture. The story is that he used to work in biotech, and he has a degree in that. He also had a job for several years in that. He loved it, it's still his hobby, but he also has a very keen business sense, and that is what has driven him to Cherryblossom Springs. He thinks that there is a lot of money to make, and therefore he thinks it's a great challenge and the next step that he wants to take in his life to help develop the commercial town square. The first thing that he is going to do is he is going to open a baby furniture shop. He is going to own or co-own this shop, but he is also going to be the chairman of the commercial committee that is going to be set up by the mayor in a few more days. So his days are going to be filled with meetings and setting up relationships with the other people in town to make sure that there are as many opportunities as possible to make this town square flourish and make it a very thriving commercial center. So that's his new goal in life. Of course, he is a family sim. He is 43 years old and he rolled to be gay. So if he finds a partner, he is probably going to adopt one of the children from the orphanage, but we don't know that yet. He hasn't rolled a wand for it yet. He is attracted to redheads. The local fireman is actually bisexual and he has red hair, so that's a possibility for him. But I was searching for this tab. He is attracted to redheads and he is attracted to sims with a high logical skill. Excuse you. And his turn-offs are sims with a high education. He is unemployed because he is going to run a few businesses, but I will probably give him a custom job for chairman of that board that he is going to set up. And I gave him a few basic skills, but nothing too exciting, and he doesn't have any badges. Right, and his hobby is of course science with the sub-hobby biotech. So I'm not sure if he is going to do something with that in this town, but he might just keep making medicine and do research for his own fun, his own hobby. So we are not going to play his day any further. This is all for his introduction for now. We are going to see him and see how his story is going to develop once we get to him and get to his round. But first, we have a few other sims to attend to. We have, of course, the elementary school and the daycare center. We have the bakery and the farm, which are all businesses, some at home, some at community lots, but all of them with a nice setup and a story to tell. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching the introduction of these sims and you are looking forward to their storylines. And for now, thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye!